So you were telling me, we're talking about balance, and you were talking about your, you don't lose your balance, you're lying. You never lose your balance.
Well, my goal is perfect balance.
Yes.
And so perfect balance is not always achievable. You know, the club will swing you a lot of times. You get that club out of possession and it's going to pull you out of your balance. Mm-hmm. But Mr. Hogan is obviously my idol, and you know, it's really hard to find a swing where he loses his balance. And the only time you ever see it is when you see one of his long drive power swings.
Yeah, you really.
And
he'll
come back.
He'll fall back onto the.
Yeah, just like Jack Nicklaus.
And I can tell you why.
Mm-hmm. Because he's pressuring out of that lead leg.
Because the stance is too wide.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I am so excited. I am here today with Steve Pratt, my main man. We've been friends online for a while, but we finally got together, and this is a great thrill for me.
This is so much fun. So you can't. You know how it is online where you can't say anything about Ben Hogan without 1,000 people coming down your throat about it.
Tell me about it.
Okay. So you can do a little experiment.
Uh-huh.
You do a little experiment. Okay. So put your feet this wide. Mm-hmm. We're going to go sumo wide.
Okay. Do I drop this?
Yeah, you can drop that. Okay. Now I want you to make the biggest lateral shift that you can towards your lead leg, like you're shifting your weight.
Leg straight?
Whatever you have to do to get as far over here as you can. Get your center of mass as far shifted. Now pick up your back leg. Okay, it's going to fall back down again.
Yeah.
Okay, so you might have a pressure shift. Here's the difference. Center of mass being here.
Yes.
The only way you're going to be able to stand on one leg at the end of the swing is if you center the center of mass on top of your heel.
Okay.
Remember, that's perfect. So you took like almost a ballet pose just now, but your whole head moved over, but that's not what we're going to do in a golf swing. We're going to leave our head in the middle of the feet.
Okay.
And we're going to achieve what we might call like a side tilt, secondary tilt, whatever you want to call it. So let's say our feet are under our hips. Mm-hmm. So put your hips about hip, for you it's going to be a little wider than that. Your heel's right under your ilium crest.
Okay.
That's fine. And now, okay, I can go here. And you can go there, and now we can leave our head back behind it, and we can still, because our center of the center of all our mass has gotten actually outside of our heel slightly, and we can stay balanced. Now you can figure out how wide your stance should ever get based on do this, and then you test it, and then move this foot back an inch, and test it. You'll find the breaking point where you rock back finally, where you cannot stay without compromising your head. See, you see, if you can't.
I'm already.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
So it's based on your hips rather than your shoulders. Balance would be based, you walk under your hips.
Yes.
So this would be, that's about right there. That's about my limit. Mm-hmm. And I found for me, it's about 14 inches at the heels and maybe 17 or 18 inches at the toes. I think your hips are narrower. You might be 12 and 15 or 16 or something like that.
So question, I see Kyle Berkshire.
Yes.
Like those guys seem kind of wide.
Yes.
Is there any advantage?
I believe it's a disadvantage, and I've got the proof I've got to offer. because I've got proof on those lines. So there's a kid that came down to see me a couple years in a row, and he was a long driver.
Yeah.
Okay. Middle of the field at best, and at worst, OB 12 times in a row out of the tournament, which he had done the year before. Duck hook 12 balls, gone.
Yeah.
A whole year training to hit 12 golf balls out of bounds and get eliminated. It's kind of disappointing. Okay, so not only that, but he's a little bit challenged for speed, so he's got to hit it well. So he comes down to see me. He's at about 136. This is 10, 12 years ago. So it's not as high as the push we see now. Like if you could go 142, 144, you could make it pretty far through that thing. Now it's just freaks.
Yeah.
You know, the freak show, right? 170,
160.
170.
Who hit 170?
The kid, what's his name? We'll have to look him up. He's a big kid.
Seb Twaddell?
Yes. Yes, he's closing in on 170.
He's tall.
He's gigantic. Yeah, he's gigantic. And he's just strong, too. So Danny, very tall. His name's Danny Beckman. He's from Fresno. He was like an assistant pro up there. So very good golfer. 136 max. So I meet him down the street, the only driving range that we can hit it out the back and not kill anybody, or end up off the property where we lose the golf ball, like here. So he's here, and he shows me. He's duck hooking it in the left fence over there. See, that's what I do when I screw up. Okay, do this. It's like, yeah, but I won't be able to really go at it. Okay, we'll just try it. Okay, so he does it. He's like, God, I hate this. I just don't feel like I can really go at it. Danny, you just swung 143.
You're kidding. Wow.
Interesting thing, you know how people talk about ground forces?
Yes.
A lot. The coolest thing about that day was because we hit forward of the mat. So he had it teed up because he needed a little more space to operate, right? The divot that his lead foot carved out in the turf stayed there for about 9 months. It was just pushing the grass and digging and pushing down and over. So he was just building. He was building like you might see in a batter's box when they're doing this for like the whole game until finally the ump's got to come and somebody's got to come and flatten it all back out again. And you get so much of like if you go to in a baseball field, you'll see this permanent back-footed divot that the earth has baked in, where you can see where everybody in the back of the box is digging into it. So that's what it looked like, and the turf looked like that for 9 months before it finally, the mowing and the mower going over it finally smoothed it enough where you couldn't see it anymore. But it was, 2 inches deep, and he had pushed all the turf and dirt up to the outside of his foot, where it was like a big mountain, like that tall probably. It was really cool just to see it there every day. You go back a week later, oh, look at that. That's where Danny was hitting from.